Welcome to another episode of the Soothing Semantics podcast. I am your host, Rafi Pinsky, and this is episode, I believe, 235 of the Soothing Semantics podcast. And make sure to follow me at Rafi the Realtor for all of your South Florida real estate needs, especially the New Yorkers who are going to be fleeing New York after Mamdani wins. I would love to help you. I'd love to be of service. Give me a ring, send me a DM, comment on the video. You know where to find me. Today we have round two with Mr. Coptic Zionist himself. And we are here to cover some breaking news. A lot of things have changed since we had our last episode. Mike Gamal is a Coptic Christian, one of the earliest Christians, or maybe even the earliest Christians, originates in Egypt. He used to be staunchly anti-Israel, did not like the Jews, aligned very much with Muslims for 20 years of his life. His father was very pro-Israel, but Mike just went the other way. And in the last couple of years, Mike did a complete 180, and he became a very big supporter of the Jews, as you could see in the back of his head right there. Right behind him, he has a nice big Jew flag. So hopefully he will become. I mean, you are already a Jew in my book, but you can, if you do decide to join the team. You're a handsome fellow, but you do have the nose for it, so you're already good to go.
Does it get bigger if I convert?
It might, dude. It might. It might. But you also you already have a very high IQ, but it might go up even a few more points, dude. It's gonna
Oh,
be
all
crazy.
right, all right, all right. That's a bit of an incentive right there.
That's pretty scary though, dude, because you probably already I bet if you tested, you get high score pretty high on the IQ test. I would confidently say. Mike, I am really glad to know you, man, since our first episode. We speak very often, and let's get into it. Thanks
Oh
for
yeah.
coming.
Hey, thanks for having me, bro. As always.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. So now with this Gaza Trump peace plan, um, I'm down to do, man. I'm down to dissect it with you.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure a lot of the people who are watching this have heard about this new Gaza Trump proposal, and it's a 20-point. It's what they're calling the 20-point plan or the 21-point plan. And I just want to kind of go into this. Hold on, let me just find a good. Images. Here we go. I think this is it. I think we found it. Hold on here. Do you have it? Maybe I can send it to you. This way
I
we
got
can
it.
both.
I got it. Actually, send me yours because the one I'm looking at, for some reason, the person who posted it's like cut off from the
Trying to
top. Can't read
find
it
it
too
as
well.
well, and it's not cooperating with me. Hold on. You know what I'm gonna do, dude? Good old ChatGPT.
Hey, ChatGPT never failed nobody. Well, that's not completely true, but I'm sure they got it right.
Okay. So here's the 20-point plan. Okay. Do you have it on ChatGPT? This way we can kind of review it together.
I'm pull
I
it up
can
really quick.
I can send it to you, brother, if you need. Yeah. I share it right now. Okay, I just sent it to your DM. Let me know if you got it.
All right, got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
So number one is Gaza will be de-radicalized, terror-free zone that does not pose a threat to its neighbors. Uh, Number two, Gaza will be redeveloped for the benefit of the people of Gaza who have suffered greatly. So number one, Israel's going to aim to make sure that Gaza is de-radicalized through the supposed police force that's going to round up round up weapons. I mean, they're going to have weapons, so there will be weapons in Gaza to some degree. But the idea is all of these militant factions will have to disarm. Something that I don't trust, something that I don't think will happen for ever. And I think the fact that this is even an idea is ridiculous. Especially after this war, there are so many people in Gaza that want violence, they want revenge, they want to fight. And then you
Mhm.
have the religious component. We're going to be seeing rockets into Israel very soon, in my opinion. As sad as it is to say. So I think one is complete nonsense. Number two, Gaza will be redeveloped for the benefit of the people of Gaza who have suffered greatly. Number two, yeah, I mean, redeveloped, I guess, in a perfect world, if the Gazans really wanted peace with Israel, then sure, but whatever. Number three, if both sides accept the proposal, the war will immediately end. So give me your thoughts on the first three.
All right, so Gaza will be a de-radicalized terror-free zone that doesn't pose a threat to its neighbor. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. First off, there's no mention of UNRWA. There is zero mention of UNRWA. It doesn't say UNRWA will have to disband or anything. Actually, in the not too long ago, okay, there was this conference that was led by France and Saudi Arabia. And one of the conditions, like one of the things that they supported was UNRWA's presence. And we all know what UNRWA is all about. If you look at the UNRWA curriculum, it is bloodthirsty. I mean, it teaches this is an element of why they're extreme, is that UNRWA has been teaching these kids, okay, that the Jews are an aberration and that eventually they will go back to their homes in historic Palestine. So, I mean, the fact that there is no mention of that, not that I can see in front of me, that's a red flag right there. Gaza will be redeveloped for the benefit of the people who have suffered greatly. Yeah, I don't buy that for 1 second. This is how it works in the Arab world. The wealth is always concentrated at the top. Okay, it will be a corrupt system, no different than my country, Egypt. All right, the military controls, I think, something like 50-60% of the economy. All right, so it's going to be another dictatorship. Now, not every dictatorship is, incompetent. You can look at the Arab monarchies in the Arabian Peninsula, and those work, well enough to provide stability and good well-being for their people. But when you're dealing with, countries in the Levant and countries like Egypt, this almost never works out. So
Right.
that's that. If both sides accept the proposal, the war will end immediately. What's both sides? Are we just talking Hamas, or are we talking Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, Democratic Front for Liberation of Palestine, the PFLP? Like these are important questions we have to ask, because they could easily reject that, especially Palestinian Islamic Jihad, which is, considered even more extreme than Hamas.
Right.
And then Israeli forces will withdraw to an agreed line in order to prepare for hostage release. This time, all military operations, including aerial and artillery bombing, will be suspended and battle lines frozen until conditions are met for complete stage. Yeah, I don't buy that at all. Every ceasefire that they've had until now, they've used it as a chance to regroup
Mhm.
and to better organize themselves. Okay, just when you think that they're sort of on the ropes and they're going to get knocked out, they regroup during these ceasefires. And it's not like they haven't been able to stage attacks. I mean, it wasn't that long ago where they staged a pretty deadly ambush on IDF soldiers.
Right. It's
Um,
it's so it's so obvious. As soon as Israel pulls out, they're going to install some kind of fighting group. There's no question. Even if there is an Arab coalition of some sort that tries to keep stability, I just think no matter what happens, there's going to be a group that rises and fights that Arab group. If multiple countries come together, unless they are very heavy-handed, I just don't think they're going to have the incentive. I don't think who are they bringing in? Saudis, soldiers, like who? Palestinians? Because imagine that, right? What's going to happen is you're going to have these supposed Palestinian forces like the PA, and you're going to have a similar group to Hamas that's going to fight this police group, so to speak, And much of the Gazans are going to say this police group is similar to the PA. They're working with the occupation. And this militant group like Islamic Jihad or whichever new group they come up with, they're the ones who are true fighters. They're loyal to us. They're the ones who are fighting our cause. And then they're going to fight each other. You're going to literally have this police force versus the next similar Hamas. And that next similar Hamas is going to eventually win because they have much more morale. They're much more in the fight. For them it's do or die. They're literally willing to do whatever it takes. They're going to win, and then Israel's going to have another Hamas like group, and we're going to have rockets shot in again, but this time Iran is going to send them better weapons than they had before, and we'll be back at square one again. That's my take. Within 72 hours of Israel publicly accepting the agreement, all hostages alive and deceased will be returned. That's great. But then you get to number 6. Once all hostages are returned, Israel will release 250 prisoners serving life sentences, plus 1,700 Palestinians detained after October 7th, including all women and children detained in that context. What in the fuck, dude?
Yeah, that is.
What the fuck? Almost 2,000 Palestinians, many of which most of them have probably committed attacks, killed people, or attempted to. And now we're releasing them back into they're all going to go back to Gaza? Are they going somewhere else? And they're going to be sent back into Gaza. They're going to get a hold of weapons somehow. Somebody's going to smuggle it to them.
From Egypt too. It's going to happen from
Yeah,
Egypt.
yeah, it'll happen from
Because
Egypt. They'll get weapons. Like,
it doesn't even address that issue. And then just to go back to your other point when you brought up the PA, what's the dominant party under the Palestinian Authority? Fatah. Do you know one of the groups that, launched the Al-Aqsa flood was a branch of Fatah. It's a branch of Fatah that sort of broke away from them after the Fatah Hamas civil war in Gaza in 2007.
what's the name of this Fatah movement? Of this
I think
specific brigade or you?
I think it's Shuhadat al-Aqsa, the Al-Aqsa Martyr Brigades, because there's two groups. There's Shuhadat al-Aqsa, the Al-Aqsa Martyr Brigades, and then there's the Al-Qassam Brigades, Kataib al-Qassam.
Oh, okay. So the Al-Aqsa Brigade is Fatah and
Al-Qassam, I think, is
the
Hamas.
Qassam is Hamas. Al-Qassam
Yeah.
is Hamas, yeah. Okay. For each Israeli hostage whose remains are released, Israel will release the remains of 15 deceased Gazans. Maybe 7 is the only one I think is like I'm okay with. I think 7 is the only one where it's like, okay, whatever, they're both dead. What are you gonna do? I think 7 I can actually understand. Number 8, after all hostage. What do you think of number 7? I mean, whatever, right? What are you gonna do?
I mean, it's, whatever, they're deceased,
Yes.
Dead men
Number
can't
8.
fight.
Number 8, after all hostages are returned, Hamas members who commit to peaceful coexistence and decommission their weapons will be granted amnesty. What the
That's
fuck,
the
dude?
one I have the biggest fucking problem with.
What the fuck, dude? Oh, it aggravates the shit out of me. It aggravates the absolute shit. Number 8 is just number
Yeah.
8. We're gonna go through this whole list. I think we're gonna make this podcast about this list, Mike, because we can
Yeah.
cover. We'll end up talking about this for a good hour at least. I don't even have the energy to go into the aggravation number 8 causes me. You know what it is, man? BB's not stupid. Like, there's no way he doesn't understand what we're talking about. And I think that BB, I think he does have a deeper plan. I think he's playing, 4D chess. I think he understands a lot of the things we're talking about. But the reality is like it's incredibly difficult for Jews in Israel to win wars because the world is just coming down on us and they're forcing us down. They're forcing us like you can't win. You're not allowed to. And we're like, but we're fucking have to. And they're like, no, we're gonna sanction you. We're gonna condemn you. We're gonna leave the UN. We're fighting. The fight is just insane, dude. We're fighting actual enemies. We're fighting against the world opinion. And the pressure is just insane, man. It's insane pressure that we have to deal with. But the sad part is I think it's very clear that we're putting ourselves back into a position where we were before October 7th. And I think that it's going to take them time to get their shit together, the Gazans, to figure out their next strategy. It could take years before they really have the ability to attack again. but they're going to be making plans every single day that goes by. They're going to be putting together strategies and plans. They're going to be, even if it's 10 Gazans, 10 Yahya Sinwar, 10 Yahya Sinwar like men. That's all it takes to rally hundreds of thousands of people, millions. I mean, they have, to do what they did before. And it's inevitable it's going to happen. It's like, I want to say God forbid, but dude, it's so clear.
It's gonna
It's
happen again.
so incredibly obvious. And it's just such a shame because, the Israeli people have such a level of morale to fight. But dude, I mean, we can't listen, man. If Israel does this again, which it probably will, I'm actually hoping Hamas doesn't even agree to this, because if Hamas will be smart. Hamas will be smart to agree to this, because Hamas will say, you know what, we'll lose our official governance, but we can pretty much continue. See, what Hamas will do is Hamas will say, okay, so we're not Hamas anymore. So now the group will be called Ahmed Isawiya
Mm-mm.
group, whatever the hell, and they'll claim that they're more moderate. The living Hamas members will coordinate with them because they're still alive and they're wherever they are in Qatar or wherever. They'll coordinate with them. They'll plan together, and over the course of time, they'll continue to stock weapons, and we'll be right back at square one again. And then Israel's going to have to do the same shit. And the truth is, if Israel next time, if this happens, and we get another attack, and it's just as bad or even worse, because it likely will be worse than it was now, we're going to have to kick out every single Gazan from that land, or just slaughter them completely. I'm just saying, like, you
Not just
can't.
Gaza, dude. Judea and Samaria too.
Yeah, yeah,
And the next one will come from Judea and Samaria.
yeah, probably will. It's a kill or be killed. It's an eat or be eaten. Like, there's just it's very clear, and it's sad and it sucks, because I wish genuinely the Gazans would actually honor this and would say, you know what, we're not going to get the whole thing. Let's just make the best of the situation. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that because it's religiously fueled. They don't care if they die. This is a must for them. They will never accept the terms. They will never accept not having all of it. It's crazy that the Jews don't get this. It's so crazy. And Bibi now is like talking. He's so proud of this. It's like, bro, you fucked up so bad. So bad.
There's nothing you can do to deter them
Oh, you fucked up.
enough to just be like, okay, that's it. Settle the conflict. End of all grievances. Let's move. There's literally nothing you can do to get them to that position. It's been proven that when you try to give them economic incentives, raise their standard of living, they still hate you. Okay. And when they suffer, their suffering is almost like their currency, right? It just emboldens them more. They say we're
The
a nation of
financial
martyrs.
the economic status doesn't help. At the end of the day, the Hamas leaders are filthy rich, and they're still planning these attacks. They're still doing this. Now they're using their people to do it, but nonetheless, they're still pushing it. Now I would argue that, if they're in different countries, some of them, like, I just watched this video of some Indian guy doing a vlog in Alaska, and there's a couple of Pakistanis there, and they set up a community, and there's a Palestinian that happens to be in part of the neighborhood. Do they have plans to take over Alaska? I mean, maybe, but they're so far removed. They're in bumblefuck Alaska. They're probably not really interested in causing a lot of issues. In a place like that, for the foreseeable future, they're probably chilling, enjoying the cold and whatnot. But when you're close by, when you're exiled and you're sent to a nearby country like Egypt, you're likely to going to try to continue the fight. Um,
Of
Now,
course.
where are we? Uh, Number 9, members of Hamas who wish to leave Gaza will be allowed safe passage to receiving countries. Absolute fucking insanity. Absolute fucking insanity. They should all be fucking killed. Number 10, immediately upon acceptance, full humanitarian aid will be sent to Gaza at minimum, matching what was agreed in the January 19th, 2025 humanitarian aid agreement, including rehabilitation of infrastructure, water, electricity, sewage, hospitals, bakeries, and equipment to remove rubble and open roads. Listen, to be quite honest with you, I don't give a shit. Like, it's not a concern for me. I think it's nice. I think it's nice that we're doing it. I don't think they deserve it. Um, and quite frankly, I don't think it makes a difference. I want to listen, as if I knew the Gazans were going to commit to peace, then I would want them to have their infrastructure and have a good life. The problem is we're all of this is incentivizing violence. You have this who's that gay Palestinian guy, Mohammed, what's his name? Mohammed Al-Kurd, something Al-Kurd. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah.
He even said in a recent speech, it might have been at ArabCon, he said, it's very clear the world has shown us that the only way we matter on the world stage is when we show violence, when we're violent. This is what it's showing. This Trump peace plan is showing the enemies of Israel that the best way to get what you want, or the best way at least to not let the Israelis get what they want, is by being incredibly violent. And though even you could argue it's not the most ideal thing for the Muslims, Muslim side, because they don't get the entire country of Israel, they haven't defeated us. They still didn't lose in a sense. In their eyes, they won. You're probably going to see as this plan happens, you're probably going to see pro-Palestinians, Muslims, Arabs all over the world holding these up. I guarantee you're going to be seeing this all over the place, all over the place.
You
The
have to
Gazans will,
understand this about their mentality. You have to understand this about mentality, right? Whether they really believe it's a genocide or not, and there's a good debate to have about that, because Mohammed al-Kurd, for instance, he says he doesn't give a shit about the accuracy of words. He will do whatever it takes to paint Israel as the victim, right? But when you have that belief in your head that this is a genocide and you survive the genocide, that is their victory.
right.
That is how they claim victory. And so, just to go to listen, man, you have members of Hamas that'll be able to leave Gaza safely. You have members, you have fighters that will accept the amnesty proposal, but they won't really abide by it. This, if you're, that's the thing is, like you said, if Hamas is smart, they accept this deal because this is like an obscenely generous deal to them, obscenely generous.
Incredibly generous. If they'd be so stupid to not see in their minds, their pride may say no, we won't accept it. We won't lay our weapons down. If they accept it, they're getting so much. They're getting so much. And I fucking hope they don't. I hope they don't. Because if they don't accept it, Israel can continue doing what it needs to do. But Hamas probably will accept it, and then Israel will be back at square one again.
That's the
It's
thing is somebody did a poll, okay, asking, do you think Hamas will accept it, right? And the vast majority of people said no. And I was the minority. I said, I actually think they will. I
Mhm.
actually think they will. They'd be stupid not to.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I'm looking.
they're pretty stupid, but they're not as stupid as we think they are. Yeah.
No, they're not as stupid as we think they are. They're capable. They just have really fucked up priorities. Here's what I'm not seeing at all in this 21-point proposal. How come there is no option for the Gazans to leave?
There is.
There is.
There is. But let's get to it. Let's
Those
get
who
to it.
wish to, okay, those who wish to leave may do so in
Let's go
return.
in order. Let's go in
Yeah,
order.
yeah.
Number 11, aid delivery and distribution will proceed through the United Nations and its agencies, Red Crescent and other international institutions without interference by either party. Now, another thing we have to consider is all this aid that's going to come through. There's so much opportunity to smuggle non-aid with that aid. This is how you smuggle all kinds of weapons and ammunition and anything that can be used to fight. Even if it's the sugar that they use to build those shitty Qassam
They're the little
rockets.
rudimentary rockets, yeah.
And there's so many things, water pipes, same things. Oh, they cannot build tunnels. Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna fucking listen to that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
12, opening the Rafah crossing in both directions will be governed under the same mechanism as the January 19th, 2025 agreement. Opening the Rafah crossing. Hopefully, many Gazans will leave, but opening the Rafah crossing will inevitably lead to weapons being smuggled into. There's no doubt in my mind that weapons will be smuggled. There's no doubt. Once the IDF pulls out, weapons will flood into Gaza. There's no question. Period. I don't care what fucking group is there. If it's not the IDF, if it's not the IDF in that land, making sure weapons don't come in, if it is any Arab military, if it is a Palestinian group governing, oh, there's No question in my mind, weapons will be flooding into that enclave. No question. Number 13, Gaza will be governed under a temporary, transitional, technocratic, apolitical Palestinian committee responsible for day-to-day political. Honestly, I just do Trump and Bibi just want to keep the fighting? I don't know. Like it's just such a retarded list of ideas. I think they think it's fun for them. I think they want this to continue. I don't know. Maybe that are they that stupid? Because they're not stupid. They're very intelligent people. So
They're very intelligent, but this is a belief that I've had for a while. Okay, and there's sort of evidence to back this up. I don't think Trump likes Bibi. I don't think Trump personally likes Bibi. If you go back to the 2020 elections, he had a grudge against Bibi because Bibi, did the diplomatic thing and congratulated Biden, right? And then Trump on an interview said verbatim, "Fuck Bibi." He said, "Fuck
right,
him," and he said he felt as if Abu Mazen was like a grandfather to him. He
right.
said that shit. So take that for what it's worth. Maybe it doesn't mean shit. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it doesn't hurt to remember that. And
No,
listen,
I don't think it's a matter of that. I don't think Trump trusts a single human being, maybe other than Ivanka and his children. And I don't
and even
necessarily
that's
blame him,
questionable.
right? I don't think none of these leaders really trust anyone. It's all fake. Bibi, the way he talks about nobody trusts anybody. Trump doesn't give, if I'm being honest, I don't think Trump gives a solitary fuck about the Israelis or the Palestinians. I think he cares about making himself look good, what's good for America. I don't think he care. It's not that Trump is such a terrible human. I don't think he's an exemplary human. I don't think he's an angel by any means. I think he's a strong leader. I think he's a good leader, but I don't look at him and say, "Oh my God, what a wonderful, pure soul." No, but then again, he's a businessman, and he knows how to be tough, and that's what's needed. He's good for America, and I think to an extent he's good for Israel. The problem is he's not good when it comes to doing what Israel needs to do to ensure its survival long term. And the reality is no one is good for that other than us, other than Israel. And we keep allowing America to make the final decisions for us, and it's just never going to work. We'll never understand it. The truth is it's a very scary thing to do. We're scared to not rely on America to an extent. We're afraid to. We're a tiny country. We have everyone against us. But like I told you when we last spoke with what Mayor Kahana said, he said, with all of Israel's enemies, you know, effectively the Jews have to learn to turn to God. Like I'll say it again. For so long as the Jew has even one ally, he will be convinced in his smallness of mind that his salvation came from that ally. It is only when he is alone against all of his own efforts and frantic attempts that he will then, through no choice, be compelled to turn to God. And this is why we are still in this fucking position over and over and over again. And I believe that as hard as it is to do, as hard as it is to say, please, being that I've never seen before, that I can't physically talk to, that who is intangible, please save us. Many Jews are like, I don't know about that shit. I think we should let America make these decisions for us because I can see them. I can travel to America. I know what they look like, and they have a lot of money and a lot of power and a big military. But the reality is this plan is putting us right back where we were before. Let me go back to 14. The transitional committee will be composed of qualified Palestinians and international experts under over under oversight by a newly formed international transitional body called the Board of Peace. It's
Oh
fucking
God,
ridiculous. It's
you can
such a
tell Trump
joke.
came up with this. You can tell Trump came
Oh
up with
my
this. The Board
God,
of
bro.
Peace.
No, no. Qualified Palestinians and international experts. Okay. The fuck is that? It's just I don't even want to. You want to touch up on 14? I think it's so ridiculous. I don't even have anything to add to it. It's just fucking stupid. What does that
I
even
did.
mean? What does that even
Very,
fucking mean?
very liberal use of the word qualified. Are you bringing in? I don't know. Are you
Hello,
bringing in Jews
I am
from over
qualified.
there?
I want peace. I am non-biased in this conflict. Please. I sound like a Nigerian.
I'm a neutral participant. I just want,
I'm
I just want, I just want the best for both
so
sides.
dumb. People are so
And
dumb. I
and this
can't
is why
take
they
it.
think we're stupid, by the way, bro. This is why they think we're stupid, is because they're like, oh, they think we're gonna abide by this shit. Right? Like, just to go back to one of the earlier ones, one of the earlier bullet points for it. The number 11, man, that's still like through the United Nations and its agencies. By now, we should know how corrupt and hijacked these agencies are.
Yeah.
This is where it's going to come from. And so you go from that to, the qualified Palestinians and the international experts. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck what anybody who's referred to as an expert says anymore. All right. You saw all these morons in that, the international genocide expert, like that, like that's who we're dealing with at this point. Bro, it's and
I'm
that's at
I'm
the same time too. It's like you have so many people coming in from different angles. There's also an element of too many cooks in the kitchen.
Oh, no doubt. Oh, no doubt. Beautifully said. Very astute. 100%. This is Jewish weakness. It's so sad because, dude, Israel did such a good job in this 2 years. They did so much work, and now they're about to undo everything they did. We always do this. I'm banging my head against the wall, bro. I'm like, it's so hard. It's breaking my heart, bro. It's like it's so shattering. It's so sad because the reality is it's not good for both sides. It's not like this is good for the Palestinians either. It's not good for either side. It's just going to bring both sides into more violence. It's so bad. Let me see. 15. The Board of Peace. The Board of Peace. The Board of Peace. The Board of Peace will be chaired by Donald J. Trump with other members and heads of state to be announced, including former Prime Minister Tony Blair. The fucking bullshit for Board
Yeah,
of Peace.
that's
The Board of Peace.
resurrecting
Six,
Tony Blair's career.
yeah, 16. By the way, you like that Star Wars? That thing?
Yeah.
That's so good. Amazing. Number 16, the Board of Peace will every time I read it, it sounds so fucking. The Board of Peace will set the framework and handle funding for Gaza's redevelopment under the Palestinian Authority, is able to securely and effectively take back control after reforms. The same idea, same like idiot, ridiculous idea that they're going to reform the people. Hamas and the other terrorist organizations will have no role directly or indirectly in future governance of Gaza. Yes, until they fucking do, they will have it very, very quickly. They'll throw everyone off the roof that they can, like Fatah and Hamas when Hamas overtook them. 18, Israeli annexation of Gaza is prohibited, and Israel will not force people to leave Gaza. Those who wish to leave may do so and return. 18, just Israeli annexation of Gaza is prohibited.
That's
Do
horrible.
you understand? But just understand that Israel is being prohibited from annexing what effectively they'll need to annex. Like you are prohibited to do the one thing that must be done in order to bring lasting peace to the land. You're prohibited to do the one thing you actually will inevitably have to do if you want this country to fucking survive in the long term. And you want to have a situation where Israelis actually have the fucking patience to deal with it. I'm really mind blown that, like, I mean, the only reason why Israelis even have the patience to do this is because if they don't have the patience to do it, we won't have a country anymore. Because believe me, Israelis are fed up with the conflict. They just are like, well, we don't want to lose this country, but fuck, man, like I'll say it point blank. A lot of Israelis are sick and tired, and South Florida is full of Israelis because a lot of them just are sick of it, and they came over here to live here because they don't have the patience anymore. And I hope that an Israeli government official watches this episode and understands that if they keep doing the same bullshit, I think a lot of Israelis are going to leave, and I hope to God that we'll still have enough people to fight for us, and I would go back if need be, God willing. I'll have an opportunity to do it, but it's exhausting. A lot they're tired of it. They're sick and tired of it.
What this reminds me of is what Dr. Nat Wolff said. She said, at every war, the international community works its hardest to prevent the Arabs from losing completely and to prevent Israel from an all-out victory. This
Right.
is exactly that. So the prohibition of Israel annexing Gaza, because listen, October 7th wouldn't have happened had there not been a unilateral disengagement in
Yep.
2005. Would never have happened. Okay. Um, it's a gut punch, man. And you can look at it two ways, right? If your top priority is to get the hostages back, this will be an acceptable deal to you. If your top priority is to make sure October 7th never happens again, terrible deal. The one silver lining from this is that, because I've heard this from a couple of people now, is that there was essentially a version of this deal on the table, a year ago or whatever ago, The silver lining is you didn't take this a year ago when that would have left Nasrallah in Lebanon, where it would have left Sinwar, still alive. It would have left the Iranian chain of command and their nuclear program intact. So the silver lining is you've at least done the work to severely degrade them. It will take time for them to regroup and to build back their capabilities.
It
But
won't take Iran alone. Iran will recuperate very quickly.
you think
Iran
so?
will, yeah, Iran will take maybe a couple of years, but they'll get new guys in the chairs. They already still have enough what Iran right now can still do a lot of damage to Israel. Iran has plenty of missiles still in their stockpile. If Iran decided to shoot a bunch of hypersonic missiles at Israel, they have them. Israel's army is not destroyed. They have plenty of soldiers. They can still do a lot of damage. They're still a very big threat. I don't believe for a second that Israel, like, destroyed all of their capabilities. Not at all. Did they do damage to them? Yeah, but also Iran could just buy Iran could do a deal with Russia and China and just spend billions of dollars and just restock all
Yeah,
the shit they lost. It's not
that they will probably go in that direction too.
100. They're already doing.
Especially
They're doing it now. They're doing it right now as we speak. I guarantee you, weapons are coming into Iran right now. Right, probably right this second.
because those drones they make, they're cheap as shit and they can produce thousands at a time.
Yeah. No. Iran will have more than enough capability to attack Israel. I'm not saying it wasn't worthwhile, but the problem is we're leaving the if if Iran doesn't have these proxies to fight, it makes it a lot more difficult. But now we're leaving Gaza intact. We're leaving the people there. We're leaving these terrorist organizations to respawn again. And Iran will continue to have proxies. Hezbollah may be disarmed, but they're not gone. They could always figure out some other group. The Houthis are still around. The reality is listen, I don't think can Israel completely get rid of its enemies forever? No, I think
No.
Israel will always have enemies. I think everyone in the world will have an enemy to some extent. But at least Israel has to, at least at the very least, Israel has to solve the conflict with Gaza and Judea and Samaria. Like that has to be dealt with because that is the foundation of where all the problems come from. The fact that there's still a conflict, because this doesn't solve the conflict. This Trump plan creates this fake narrative that we're solving the conflict. Everyone knows this isn't solving the conflict. This is just a stalemate. This is just a band-aid. This is a big fat band-aid, and that's all we've done for 77 years. Put a bunch of band-aids on a festering wound. That's all we've done, and that's all we're doing now.
It's to be
Uh,
continued.
I mean, it's just inevitable. I'm gonna just say I fucking told you so, and it's gonna be so. I'm gonna be so mad when we start to see rockets coming into Israel again. I'm gonna be so fucking angry. I already know. I'm just gonna send Bibi a bunch of DMs, just being like, if he's still a prime minister, just be like, you motherfucker. Honestly, I've liked the guy so much. Really, I've had so much like love for Bibi. So even now, like I still think he's a good leader, but just once the rockets start coming in, I'll be like, yo, get the hell out of the prime minister's chair for the love of God. Like once that starts happening, because I know it's coming, but once it actually happens, I'm just gonna be like, man, you just everything you did the last 2 years, none of it. I don't even give you the credit for any of it because it just means nothing anymore. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
see where you're coming from, man. Because I was saying, I kept telling myself, and like, you know me, man. I'd never discuss, Israeli politics on my channel, right? And but in my head, I would be like, because everybody's like, oh, he's just trying to stay in power because of, the charges and everything against him, and he's trying to just stay in power. I was like, I think what I would say to myself is, I think Bibi is somebody who cares about his legacy. He's been Israel's longest serving prime minister, and I believed in my heart of hearts that he just wanted to finish the war the right way. He didn't want to end the war with Nasrallah still there, Sinwar still, like that's where my mind was on that. But this to me is ending the war the wrong way. And I don't know, maybe there is no right way to end it. You know, maybe I'm completely wrong on this. But it's just, I guess it just goes back to what your priorities are. If it's to get the hostages, then yeah, this is a good deal for you. But if it's to make sure something like October 7th doesn't happen again, I think it's a horrible deal. And especially if you take a poll of how the Palestinians in Judea and Samaria feel, Hamas over there is more popular than ever.
Right.
They're enjoying record popularity. That's why I don't trust any of these fucking Palestinians that present themselves as moderates who say, "Oh, well, they have no popularity. The people don't really like." No, hell no. I see
Well,
Corey
because
Gilchristers all the time. I see Corey Gilchristers channel all the time when he asks the Arabs in Judea and Samaria, "Oh, how do you feel about Hamas? How do you feel about October?" They love that shit.
yeah, 100%. Why? I mean, why do you, dude? It's very simple. The Palestinians are learning. They've always learned that violence works. It's the reality. And it's not because violence works. It's because we allow it to work.
And the media rewards them. That's another thing. They like this war, okay? The way the Palestinians were centered in this war has never been in the mainstream as much as it is. Okay,
Mhm.
when you have, how many celebrities, voicing opposition, calling it a genocide, like it is, they've never been given such international support before like they were this time. And so they're emboldened. And then on the heels of all this, they had Australia, the UK, Canada, a few other countries recognize, like they got what they wanted. This is exactly why they maximize their own deaths. This is
Mhm.
why.
What's the next one? Number 19, implicit or further security measures, demilitarization of Gaza, including dismantling Hamas's military infrastructure, such as tunnels, weapons manufacturing, and storage facilities. Yeah, I mean they're gonna build them. They're gonna build them again. So yeah, it's a shame because these soldiers are gonna be working overtime to destroy all this stuff just so they can build it again. Maybe somehow in a wonderful dream they won't build tunnels again, which I mean they definitely will, but or they'll come up with some other plan. But the tunnel system was brilliant. The tunnel system was an incredible idea on Hamas's part. Let's not kid ourselves. It was a brilliant plan. It's incredibly difficult for Israel to destroy all these tunnels. They're having a really hard time. There's so many fucking tunnels. Why would they not spend the time and build them up again? It's going to take them a while, but knowing
And who's going to
Israel,
dismantle them?
huh?
Who's going to dismantle the tunnels?
Knowing Israel's stupidity, they'll go and build them up again. And let me tell you, they'll build them better than they did last time.
Mhm.
Um, 20 number 20, long-term governance and transition. After the transitional period, the Reformed Palestinian Authority would resume governance subject to oversight and conditions. We're actually letting the PA govern Gaza. That's what it says. Am I reading it wrong? Isn't that what 20 says?
Yep. The
The
Reformed Palestinian
Reformed
Authority.
the Reformed Palestinian Authority. It's like I want to pull all the hairs out of my head. Like the reformed, it's like saying the reformed Hamas leadership, the reform. In what world, dude? I need to look at Bibi in the eyes and be like, what are you thinking? I just need him to answer me. I need to know what he's gonna say to me. I just want to see the look in his eyes and just try to understand what exactly. I just want him to pull me to the side and be like, hey man, it's not what you think it is. There's extra steps here. We're not, this is, it's going to go a certain way. But if he's like, yeah, no, I actually think it's a great idea, I'm going to be like, dude, you're getting way, the age is catching up to you. You need to step down.
And he looks significantly older. You can see it on him too. And this is the thing. Okay, this is the thing with the whole Reformed Palestinian Authority bullshit. Listen, Palestinian Authority is the least respected faction under the PLO. Literally the least respected. Okay, they can't even control their own area. You know, when they're fighting these, you know, the Lions Den brigades and all this shit. Okay,
Yeah.
so if they go to Gaza and they give this reform bullshit, you know, they present themselves as they're gonna get even less respect because in Palestinian culture, the most extreme wins.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the one who is most extreme, they look at him as like that's the dude that's gonna fight for me.
Right.
So this reformed Palestinian Authority, what are they going to do? Get rid of pay for slay? Oh, they'll just be more unpopular with their own people. The reformed Palestinian Authority will get kicked out of Gaza again by a different group.
100%. The extremist groups will kick them out, no doubt. There's supposedly a 21st point, which is they would introduce or emphasize a pathway to Palestinian statehood or self-determination after certain reforms. Bibi did say now that he's not accepting a Palestinian state, that he's not willing to do that. This is essentially doing that, though, leaving Gaza intact, allowing the Palestinian Authority to lead again, is effectively what that is. Because even if it's not called a Palestinian state on paper, it gives the Palestinians the thought that there can eventually be one. And when I say there can eventually be one, they don't want a Palestinian state. They want all of it to be one Palestinian state. The same thing that's been going on for 77 fucking years. And it will do the same thing that we've been. It's like, man, Mayor Kahana said another thing, and he said, I'm gonna find her for you. Mayor Kahana say about um Jews could be brilliant in almost every field of life, but dangerously naive or stupid when it came to their own collective survival. Here's the famous passage you're probably I'm at a loss to understand a people so clever in science, so bright in business, so gifted in the arts, and yet so incredibly stupid when it comes to the question of Jewish survival. Meaning behind his words, worldly brilliance versus political blindness. Khan often pointed out how Jews excelled in medicine, finance, law, and academics, yet failed to see reality when it came to anti-Semitism, assimilation, or enemies who openly threatened them. He argued that Jewish cleverness led many to believe that integration into Western society would protect them, ignoring history. Spain, Germany, Russia, where even well-integrated Jews eventually faced persecution. Israel and power, and his view, Jews were stupid when they placed faith in diplomacy, the UN, or foreign allies instead of in Jewish strength, sovereignty, and willingness to fight for survival. Warning against wishful thinking. Kahana warned that believing it can't happen here was the biggest delusion that Jewish survival depended not on brilliance and secular pursuits, but on facing threats realistically, staying united and relying on Jewish power and faith. It's so true. It's so true. So that, so many people thought he's a terrorist and he's this and he's that. Did the guy harbor racism toward Arabs? It's very likely. It's very likely he didn't love them very much. But one thing is certain, everything he's saying here, it's just it's objective truth. It's objective truth. You see so much on the liberal left with this Katie Halper idiot and this Sim Kern and all these other liberals and woke Jews who just not in my name. It's this academic brain, and they think that they can bring this academic brain into the way the world sees things, and I can intellectualize my way into peace. I can everything could be discussed and agreed upon. No, you fucking dumbass. No, it doesn't work that way. And it's only until they're faced with the actual violence and aggression and danger on their own personally. And even then, many times it's a real, I don't know how to explain it, bro. I really don't, because I'm glad that Jews are so free thinking that we always question narratives and we're always trying to, come to understandings, and we love the idea of disagreeing and and learning new things. We're always trying to do that versus many other groups of people who just follow what they listen to what they're told and follow whatever seems to be the major consensus. But so off all the time, we have when things need to be done, when things are very clear, so many of us can't seem to see it. It's like, and I'm not saying that it's a simple solution. I'm not saying that the conflict is simple to solve. It's getting there is going to be incredibly difficult.
The principle of the conflict is rather simple. And
Right.
actually, I heard it from Mordecai earlier today. I was watching one of his videos. He was talking
What do you
about
say?
Jerusalem, and he said, um, "You can never have true peace in the Middle East. Peace in the Middle East is being invincible, and that's what Israel needs to be. Israel needs to be invincible." So, and it goes back to some, like you were just talking about it, right? You think it's great that the Jewish people, question things a lot. They constantly seek answers, right? And it goes back to something I think you said even yesterday, right? I think the drawback from that is that you guys inevitably sort of question yourselves. You question your own strength, whereas the other side doesn't question shit. They are resolute in what they want. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There is no gray zone, okay? And they are working towards that. They don't ask anywhere near the amount of
They
questions.
have it easier. The thing is they have it easier because to them it's like, hey, we have a goal. We're very clear about it. And if we die, we die, but we are going to get to that goal if you allow us. If you give us an inch, we'll take a mile. If you give us any hope, even if it's a crumb of hope that there's a chance for us to succeed, we're going to go balls deep in trying to accomplish that goal. Whereas we have the ability to stop them, to really put a stop to it, and we never do it. We never do it because and it's hard because we get an unfair amount of pressure. The world never can never really see where we're coming from. They don't care. Even if they do see it, they don't want us to win. And it's being a Jew and having our own country is incredibly it's really tough because many other countries can win their wars. We're not allowed to. But the reality is we have to do it regardless. The biggest problem is we're asking for the world to approve of our ability to survive, ability to have our own country, ability to win wars. The world's not going to allow that. The world says, you know what? Be happy you have a land, deal with the consequences of it. But you cannot defeat your enemies. It's not fair to them because just because you were persecuted doesn't mean you can do the same to others, doesn't mean you are not allowed to cause harm to your enemies. All you're allowed to do is stop them, is put enough of a guard up or enough of a wall up or enough pressure so they can't completely annihilate you, but you cannot cause harm to them, which is too excessive. That's unfair. So even if it means you're going to have constant violence against you, you're going to constantly have terror attacks, you're constantly going to have to watch your back. That's a price you have to pay because we do not think it's okay for you to put yourselves in a position where you have a real ultimate ever like long lasting peace. That's
Yeah,
not
it's
okay.
the whole proportionality thing. Well, what would have been proportionate? Should Israel have done to the Gazans what the Gazans did to Israel on October 7th? Would that have been proportionate? Should Israel have just gone in and, shot up everybody, rape women? Would that have been proportionate? Tell me what a proportionate response is. Tell me what is the acceptable civilian to combatant ratio. And I'll tell you something straight up, because I always hear this, that it's the lowest civilian to combatant ratio. Personally, I don't know that that's true. I think that's, because that's always followed up with it's unheard of, it's never been done before, which is why I'm pretty skeptical about it because it's literally never been done before, right? And I'm gonna tell you this right up. I don't give a fuck if that ratio is 1 to 10, 1 to 20. All right?
Mhm.
When you have an enemy that is driven theologically to kill you, okay? It's in their holy book that the final hour will not come until they fight and slaughter you, until you are running behind trees and stones, okay? And I bet you on October 7th that the Gazans and the members of all the terror groups, I bet you for many of them, they thought that was the final hour. They were yelling Allahu Akbar. They called the operation Al-Aqsa Flood, okay? This is going to go on forever and ever until they're wiped out. I'm sorry to say it. I know motherfuckers' heads are exploding right now hearing that. But it's literally what they're planning on doing to you.
Yeah, we just live in a
Israel
weird world.
should not share a border with any non-state actor. None. You can rely to a certain extent on, countries with a central government, okay? They might not be the best option, okay, but they do care about their own power. They don't want to lose power. They don't want to lose land because then that puts the stability of their own regimes at risk. All right. When you're dealing with, terrorist groups and that doesn't matter. They actually kind of want it, you know? And it's giving back Sinai was a fucking mistake.
Huge mistake. Huge mistake.
I'm Egyptian and I'm saying that. So, you can quote me on it.
Yeah, no, it's a huge mistake because Gaza was because Egypt's not a friend, man. They just get paid enough by America to stay quiet, but they're helping the cause. They're helping the cause. And honestly, as soon as the Egyptians, if they don't get fun, put it this way, I'll make it very simple for you. If and when, and it's highly likely that after Trump, eventually we will have an American leader that doesn't like Israel and that doesn't support Israel. Egypt and all the neighboring countries will do what they did in the earlier wars. Egypt will say, "Oh, America doesn't support Israel. They're on their own. Perfect. They're backed into a corner and they don't have America to help them. Perfect. We're stronger than we were back then. We're gonna go in for the kill, and if we win, we win. We lose, but we're gonna fucking try because now is our best shot."
Especially if this deal goes through. Especially if this deal goes through. Because it's not a giant leap of faith to say that, you could see the reenactment of the stuff that was going down in the 50s and the 60s when Abdel Nasser was, launching Fedayeen attacks from the Gaza Strip, especially if there's Egyptian involvement in this. And Egypt, they have weapons from all over. They have weapons from China, from Russia, from the USA. If USA, for whatever reason, says, okay, we're gonna, put an arms embargo on Egypt and, until they meet certain thresholds, guess what? China and Russia don't give a shit. They don't give a fuck about, Egypt democratizing.
Yeah,
And
man.
just not too long ago, by the way, not too long ago, because there was some sort of Arab summit. They convened an Arab summit because of the Israeli strike in Qatar, right?
Right.
It was the first time since the 70s that Egypt referred to Israel as the enemy. The first
Right.
time since that is a sharp escalation, and words matter. When a country like Egypt, when their leadership says that out loud, you can't ignore that.
Yeah, yeah. No, but we always knew it. I always knew it. It's not a shock to me. It's not a shock to me, dude. Not at all.
Yeah.
It's a shame. Like, oh, we got rid of Assad, so now Syria's a friend. Like now Jolani's a better option. Excuse me. It's we don't need Israel doesn't need to worry about having enemies. That's inevitable. Israel's gonna have enemies. It needs to worry about doing things that properly deter its enemies. And it did that. It did such a good job at that up until now. But all of the Arabs are watching and they're all saying, "Wow, you took the bait, you dumb motherfuckers." And I think they were surprised up until now by how Israel was so strong. But now they undid all of it.
Yeah.
They shat on all of it. Bibi going up on podium saying, "We're so strong and we did all this and all that." And I think many people were enamored by it. They said, "Wow, impressive. These Jews they're smart, they're capable, they're tough. They impressive. Our enemies have some fight in them. Nice." But this plan, just fucking damn it.
It goes back to what Moshe Dayan said, okay? That Israel should be like a mad, rabid dog that everybody is afraid to mess with.
Mm.
All right. And for a while, that was the impression that Israel gave, that do not fuck with us. But, you know, it's perception is everything. If your enemies think you're weak, they'll act on it, especially the Arabs.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man. The reality is, I'm a podcaster. I'm not a government official. I'd like to believe I do have the ability to make change. I think thank God I've built a channel of close to 10,000 subscribers. It's not huge by any means. It doesn't have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but it's not always about the size. It's not always about the size of the channel. I think and I'm really hoping that I can continue to do this and just do this passionately because it matters tremendously to me. And I hope that Israel will eventually make the right choices. I hope that what we're seeing now is not the start of something terrible. I hope that there's more that will go on, and maybe Hamas will fuck this up. I hope they do. But I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens. I'm gonna leave it up to God, bro. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm gonna leave it in God's hands. That's all I can do, I guess.
Listen, man, I hope we're wrong. I hope we're wrong
Yeah.
about everything right now, and
I
that,
hope we are too. Oh, I hope we are too.
I
I hope
hope
we
we're
are.
wrong,
I don't think
because
we are. I
I
really don't
don't
think we are,
either.
but I hope. I mean, I really don't think we're wrong about any of this. But I mean, you just look. History shows that if we go by history, we are incredibly correct. The only thing that will change here is if the Palestinians magically, actually change their way of thinking. And there's just no way because it's religious. If it was a matter of land, if they were all secular and they said, you know what? If they were a bunch of Tel Avivians, if the Palestinians were a bunch of Tel Avivians, secular Chiloni Tel Avivians, yeah, land, man, whatever. I'll go live in Chicago or I'll stay here in Gaza, whatever. Like, enough already. Just give me the land, give me a nice apartment, a family, a dog. Or they don't like dogs, but a cat, whatever. C'est la vie, salamat. We're good. I'm happy. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. What world do you think they're doing that? It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, bro, do you have anything else you wanna add? I mean, you were about to say something.
Nah, I was, yeah, that was about it. Just hope for the best, man. I hope we're wrong, but I don't think we are.
Yeah, I say the same thing.
Yeah.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of the 20-point shit deal that's about to take place. And I hope to some fucking magic, some miracle that it ends up being a good idea. I don't know how it's going to be a good idea, but I'll choose to be positive, even though in my mind I'm just bugging out. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Let's see.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to follow Mike at Coptic Kapara on Instagram. He does amazing work. He is such a really lucky to have him as somebody who advocates for the Jewish people in Israel. He's not Jewish and still spends so much of his time advocating for the Jewish people, even when we do these dumb things. You're still here. I don't know how you don't get so sick of it, bro. I don't know. You're not like, do you consider just throwing in the
You know
towel
what?
and be like,
No, no, not even once, man. I love what I do. I love what I do because I know, listen, like I know it's not going to have an effect. Like I know there's not like government officials going, "Oh, wait, what did Mike say? Okay, let's change course." No, but I know it
yeah,
speaks to people who feel the same way as I do, and I love what I do at the end of the day. Like I
I
wouldn't
think,
read as much, put as much time to this if I didn't like thoroughly enjoy it, and like I love it, man. I can't explain it any more than that.
I'm glad. And honestly, dude, don't knock your impact. Really don't assume that you don't have the ability to like change things.
Yeah.
So I think you do. Guys, smash the like button, leave your comments. Really, I look forward to your comments on this. And that is a wrap. The episode 235 of the Soothing Semantics podcast has come to a close. Thank you guys. Peace.